All right. Hey, it's Medical Monday time. It's a lot going on right here. Oh, no, 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 no. What's going on here? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Yes. Hey, it's Dr. Grace. Thank you guys for joining in on Medical Monday at 8 p.m. And we're starting and we're talking about tonight your brain, your food, your mood. Yes, we've been talking about the brain now for a while because it's a topic matter near and dear to my heart. And I deal with seniors and I deal with middle aged people and even some younger people who are concerned about not being able to think clearly, having problems with what they call cloudiness in their thoughts, or more often than they would like to. So, hey Dion, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share as you come on. We're simultaneously live streaming on Facebook. Hey, Miss Mazine, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Yes, we got this thing going on. We got it down packed. Yes, it is a June. What's today's date? June 18th. Yes, my goodness, time is flying. But I always say, even though we feel that way, God knows what He's doing. He said in the end days and end times that the days will be shorter for the just or for the righteous. So I thank God for that. So as you guys come on, please like, invite, and share as you come on. Hey, Tawana, thank you for joining on. We're talking about your brain, your food, your mood on tonight. And I'm Dr. Grace Patterson from the Metro Detroit area, managing owner of Bethesda Holistic Center and Everything New. And looking forward to, hey, Linnell, thank you for coming on. Please like, invite, and share with your network as you guys come on. Please, with your social media network, your friends, your families, please invite everyone as we go on. We are growing, and I'm so excited about that. So we are putting out a plea or a request. We're currently are seeking medical assistance. Certified would be the best. Physician assistants, physicians, nurse practitioners to service our homebound patients in their homes, in their own homes. You may submit your resume by going to info at bw-center.com. That's info at bw-center.com. Or you can send your resume to us by mail to our business manager at 21411 Civic Center Drive, Southfield, Michigan. That's Suite 102, Southfield, Michigan 48076. Hey, Tanisha, thank you for joining on. Hey, Marvin, I think I saw on there. Yeah, hey, Sue. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Please like, invite, and share as you guys come on. Um, we are live streaming on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm so excited about that. I don't know what to do. But we're going to be talking about your brain, your food, your mood. We are looking again for medical assistants, physician assistants, physicians, and nurse practitioners. Look, our if you're willing to see our seniors in their own homes, at the same time, you got to understand we're not a traditional practice. We also do alternative medicine, even with our seniors, to the extent that we can. We're also going to institute or revitalize our our nonprofit organization called Rescue 911, so we can start getting some grant money and funding to funnel in and getting supplements and things that will benefit our seniors, to so they can have a healthier life. You know, the Word of God promised us our latter days will be greater than our former, and that He will preserve us and keep us. And so, the more I study, the more I see how our food needs to be our medicine, and sometimes it could be quite a challenge. Hey, Derek, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share as you come on. I'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you. I'm Dr. Grace. Yes, I am on Instagram. It is called Medical Monday, Dr. Grace 313. That's the handle for Instagram. We're going to be talking about your brain, your food, and your mood. You know, we have been talking these last couple. We've been doing a series. I think this is part 5. We've been doing a series on brain health, because if your brain is not functioning the way that it needs to function, come on now, it is a challenge for everything else. And I gave you some numbers and stats in regards to Alzheimer's disease and dementia, how right now over 5 million people have that diagnosis, and by 20, I think it's 2030, that is going to be, the number is going to be 16 million people. That is quite significant. And so why is that? So I've been giving you guys information weekly for these past 5 Mondays on what you need to do to keep your brain healthy. So again, you need to go to www.bw-center/mm for Medical Monday. We have a free download. You just put your email address in there and put download. It'll talk about what we're talking about tonight. And you can go to Medical Monday on Facebook. You can go to Medical Monday Grace Patterson on YouTube and look at the previous videos. Guys, we're going to really talk about some amazing things tonight. So even the things that you think that you might be doing right, I'm going to tell you about me. Some things that I thought I was doing right and doing good, find out it was like, uh-oh, a big no-no. So we're going to get into that right now. So let's talk about how can food affect your mood. Knowing what foods you should and shouldn't be eating is really confusing. One year they say it's okay to eat eggs. The next year they say it's not good to eat eggs. The next year they said you can eat the egg white, but don't eat the yolk because it increased cholesterol levels. You know, every time you turn around, they're saying something different. One year they're saying coffee is good. The next year it's saying it's not. It's all about the dollar. Let's just be serious about that. The biggest traded commodity in the world is coffee. So you will hear one year caffeine is good for you, and then you hear next year the caffeine is not good for you. So let's start right there with the caffeine, because I do like a cup of coffee, a good cup of coffee in the morning, especially being a doctor and in medical school, trying to stay up with the caffeine. So when I hit a certain age, when I drink caffeine, I started flashing. Yes, woo, them flashes. You see them women sweating and getting their fans out and stuff like that. So I had to decrease my caffeine intake. I do have caffeine, have regular, have deep caffeine to prevent those flashing. Okay, so caffeine, you know, it is what it is. But caffeine can contribute to depression. In my reading and in my studying, caffeine can contribute. Also, I knew this from a while ago because I've had dealt with patients and some close friends who have anemia or are anemic. And my friend, I remember this real vividly. She loved her coffee. She would drink coffee all day long, and she was diagnosed with anemia because she had very heavy periods. Probably was K2 deficient at the time, but I didn't know at the time because I was a young resident. But I researched caffeine. So if you're someone under the sound of my voice and know that you may be anemic, which means a low hemoglobin or low blood count, you should not drink caffeine or drink coffee because it decreases the absorption, especially if you're on iron. It decreases the absorption of iron. So it's not good for that. So it further exacerbates the anemia. Again, anemia, caffeine can affect your mood. And think about it. Caffeine is a form of it is categorized with nicotine. It is categorized and because it has receptors in the body that it attaches to that causes mood elevation. So, and then when you don't have it, you have symptoms like withdrawal, caffeine withdrawal, headaches. So those of you that are under the sound of my voice, or you never heard this before, or this is your first time listening, those of you that drink tons and tons of Diet Coke or Pepsi products that have caffeine in it, or any type of beverage or soda pop, sodium, whatever you want to call it, that have caffeine in it, when you drink a lot of it and stop drinking it, you have this horrible headache. And that is what we call a caffeine withdrawal headache. So, yes, it can affect your mood. Yes, you can, after you have your cup of coffee, you're that, you know, you've seen shirts and you've seen mugs that say, please don't talk to me until I have my first cup of coffee. So it do affect your mood. And yes, it does have an effect on the brain. So I know that we're talking about food. That is a beverage, but, you know, caffeine can also be in chocolate. Let me say that again. Caffeine can also be in chocolate. Caffeine is in chocolate. So I remember one time I had a patient and she didn't drink Pop. She didn't drink coffee, but she loved chocolate. So we had the situation where she was cutting down on her chocolate and she was having these horrible headaches. So I had to identify that she was withdrawing from caffeine from eating her chocolates. So those are the type of things that, and it can affect your mood. Yes, it can. And when you eat chocolate, it has been scientifically proven, you can look it up, that chocolate helps release endorphins that make a person feel good and like they're happy. So that is the reason why during Valentine's Day, if you celebrate that, that people give chocolate, because the same endorphins that are released when a person is in love is the same endorphins that are released when a person eats chocolate. So your brain, your food, your mood. We're talking about caffeine that is found in beverages and also in chocolate. So let's talk about right here. Let me tell you this: the biggest bad mood culprits is refined carbohydrates, and carbohydrates is just another fancy word for sugar. So refined sugars such as junk food. So refined sugars is like table sugar, the white sugar that's on the table when you go to restaurants or in your home when you put in your coffee. So not only are you drinking coffee that has caffeine and then you're adding sugar to it, yes, we're talking about a whole mood scenario here. So, junk food, donuts. We're the only country that advocates having donuts and pastries and all that other kind of stuff first thing in the morning, along with your morning cup of coffee. And then we wonder why we have mood swings, depression, obesity, and road rage. Yes. So that can definitely affect your mood, because what happens when you eat those refined sugars first thing in the morning, you have what we call a sugar surge. So your sugars go whoa, and then your insulin tries to catch up with it, and sometimes it cannot. So then you have what we call a bottoming out. So you have a sugar high and then a sugar low. And then sometimes people can that have a sugar low can have actually symptoms of what we call palpitations, tachycardia, heart beating real fast, sweating, palms of the hands cold, feeling dizzy and lightheaded because the sugar was real high and then it actually dropped down really low. Yes, this can affect your mood very much, and can affect your brain, because if you have low sugar, then what happens, you have a cognitive deficit at that moment and at that time. You can become delusional, you can become lightheaded, you can become dizzy. So your brain, your food, and mood, so we're talking about that right now, it all intertwines with one another. So I talked about candy, I talked about chocolate, I talked about soda or soda pop. Everyday foods such as fruit juice, syrups, and jams can cause your blood sugars to go up and down like a roller coaster. Listen to this too. Another one that in my research, one of the things they did not mention, which I'm going to mention here also, is diet or sugar replacement substances, where you have 0 calories, but it still tastes sweet, that is flavored with aspartame. Aspartame burns the brain. You've heard me say this on Medical Monday before. Aspartame is found in sugar substitutes. Aspartame is also found in those energy drinks. So the more energy drinks that you drink, okay, you know how you see that commercial where the people are flying with wings and stuff like that. Yeah, and people use those energy drinks to go along with alcohol so they can be alert and still have the buzz at the same time, because brown brings you down and white brings you high. But anyway, some people take an energy drink while they're drinking. That combination there is it may prolong your buzz, but is really burning holes in your brain, because you got to remember that alcohol and liquor is made from refined sugars. What is those sugars? Are either potatoes or grapes. So liquors that are made with potatoes, I'm gonna get ready to talk about potatoes in a minute. That's the next thing I'm going to talk about. So some alcohol to potatoes, those are refined. The body breaks it down into refined sugars. So remember, your brain, your food, your mood, all of that goes together, okay? So let's talk about the withdrawal from the refined sugars when you drink and all that other kind of stuff. A couple of things happen. That affects your mood. You have a hangover, okay? You have a headache. You don't feel good. You feel lousy. Sometimes you feel a little, a person may feel a little bit depressed. But another thing that happens, which is a little outside of what we're talking about, a person's blood pressure goes up. That's one of the signs of withdrawal from alcohol. So the headache could be from not only from the sugar, but because the person are withdrawing from the alcohol, so their blood pressure is going up. And sometimes blood pressure being elevated can cause headaches. So those are the things that we need to be mindful of when we're talking about how our brain is affected by the things that we consume or ingest. So your brain, your food, your mood, okay? Let's talk about this for a minute. I want to talk about. I gotta click on this link. Oh goodness, it's not allowing me to click on it. Oh my goodness. Give me a second, guys. My screen is kind of locking up on me here. Hold on, just 1 second. I want to talk about this. Oh, come on, I didn't want to go there. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Let me see if I can highlight this. And won't let me highlight it. Okay, I might have to go. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to get out of here. Okay, let me close this out. Go to my own links here. Okay, so we're going to talk about here. Let's talk about this right here. There are 9 American foods that have been banned in other countries. You probably saw this on the news. You might have seen it somewhere. You might have seen it on Facebook or on some type of social media page or something. But there are 9 foods that I'm going to talk about right now that has been banned in other countries. Where is found? Artificial foods and dye. They're found in cereal, baked goods, candy, sports drinks, soda, macaroni and cheese, and more. Why is it bad? Dyes might make your food look pretty, but they are made from chemicals derived from petroleum. Petroleum, yes, petroleum. Yeah, when I say petroleum, you think of what? Petroleum, you think of petroleum gas, you think of petroleum oil, right? You think of all that stuff, right? So dyes are made from petroleum. In this case, you didn't know that. It's also used to make gasoline, diesel, and tar. Okay, so think about that for a minute. So artificial colors and dyes are made from petroleum, which is used to make gasoline, diesel, and tar. And so then we ingest this stuff, and it fuels your car. It shouldn't be a fuel for you. So it's still legal here in the United States, but it's banned in other countries. Okay, go figure that one. Let's talk about farm salmon. So people are saying, well, I don't eat red meat. I don't eat meat at all, or whatever the case may be. I eat fish, and I love salmon. So what kind of salmon are you eating? I posted one time on Medical Monday this little video about salmon that was packaged in this package, and you could actually see the parasites in there, but that's a whole nother story. But you want to eat salmon that is caught in the wild. You don't want to eat salmon that is farm salmon, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they feed the salmon on unnatural diet, like grains. They give them antibiotics because they're in this pool area, and the water, just like a fish in a fish tank, right? When you have your little fish in a fish tank, you have filters and all of that. You got to clean the fish tank and all that other kind of stuff. But anyway, these are salmon that are being grown. They're giving antibiotics and other drugs, leaving the fish with a gray flesh, which is then pinkened with a synthetic made from petrochemicals. And the synthetic is called acetaxanthin. I think I'm saying that right. Acetaxanthin, to make it pink. So please, if you're a salmon lover out there under the sound of my voice, you should stay away from farm salmon. You should only eat a salmon that is caught in the wild. It may cost you a little bit more, but it's okay. Okay, so you don't want to be eating farm salmon filled with antibiotics, other drugs, and then they're giving it phytochemicals to make it pink. You're trying to be healthy, so you need to stay away from that, okay? But it's banned in other countries, but it's illegal here in the United States. Another thing, a substance that is banned in other countries except for ours is brominated vegetable oil. And where can this be found? In soft drinks and citric flavored sodas. The main ingredient is a poisonous chemical. Yes, I did say poisonous. Yes, what is poison? Poison is deadly. It will kill you. That is toxic and corrosive to the body. Having been linked to organ system damage, birth defects, schizophrenia, and more. If those weren't terrifying enough. So you need to avoid that, okay? So what I'm gonna repeat that again. Where is this found? In sports drinks and citrus flavored sodas. So you need to stay away from that stuff. This is another one too called Olestra. Olestra is found in fat-free potato chips and French fries. It's a lower calorie counts. They sell it on saying that it's low calorie, but they don't tell you that Olestra inhibits the body's ability to absorb vitamins. So if you're someone under the sound of my voice and you're trying to be healthy and you're supplementing yourself and you're eating products with Olestra in it and you're taking supplements, they're not being absorbed. Or you're eating vegetables and you know, vegetables and things of that nature have have vitamins in it too. So if you're eating Olestra with it, you're not getting the vitamin absorption that you need. So it's defeating the purpose. There's another one that's called azodicarbonamide. That's azodicarbonamide. That's AZODICAR, B as in boy, O as in orange, N as in Nancy, A as in apple, M as in Mary, I as in ice cream, D as in dog, E as in egg. Okay, so where do you find this substance? You find this substance in frozen dinners, boxed pasta, packaged baked goods, and various breads. The chemical in which helps bleach our flour quickly. Remember I talked about this in why you should consider not eating removing white things from your diet, is used in foam plastics, and it has been linked to asthma. So you need to avoid this because it's the same. Let me just tell you what it is. It's bleach. That's all it is. The same thing that they use to bleach this white blouse, or the same thing that you use in your laundry detergent to bleach your clothes so they can be white, nice, white, and bright. It's the same thing they put in certain foods. So when you eat those things, you're eating bleach. Yeah, I said it. I mean, it is what it is. It's the truth. Okay. Then there's another thing that's called synthetic hormones, or RBH or RBS. Where is it found? Milk and dairy products. You know, I told you, if you go back and watch some of my videos, even about detoxing, one of the first things I tell people to do is to give up dairy. And the reason being is because we're the only We're the only mammals that by our cognitive choice and ability choose to drink another mammal's milk. It doesn't make any sense. So it's very, very important that you, especially when it's non-organic, because they're injecting them with antibiotics and growth hormones. And let's say if they're not even giving them antibiotics and growth hormones, let's just talk about the cow's own hormones as it feeds the calf. You see a small calf and it drinks the mother milk to become a huge cow. So if you and I and our children is drinking milk that can be organic, but it still has those cow hormones in it that is to make a calf into a huge cow, those same hormones we are ingesting to become big as a cow. I mean, it is what it is, right? So dairy products, you really need to reconsider that in regards to ingesting it and giving it to our children. A lot of people ask me, well, what do you recommend as far as what we need to drink as far as, getting our calcium and things of that nature. You can just get regular calcium and supplement with calcium, but there's coconut milk. There is coconut milk. A lot of people, and almond milk. I really don't advocate soy milk because there's a lot of GMOs out there. And then soy is a phytoestrogen. So you don't want to give phytoestrogen to a young growing boy or even a man. So I kind of stay away from the soy products for that reason. But there is other, milks that you could do, coconut milk or almond milk. There's another one that is another one, number 7, that has been banned in other countries is BHA or BHT. B as in boy, H as in Harry, A as in apple, and BHT. Where can be it found? It can be found in cereal, gum, butter, meats, and mixed nuts. So that is why people need to read labels to make sure what you're ingesting and putting in your body. Let's even talk about mixed nuts. That's why most oftentimes, if you're eating healthy, they highly recommend that you go to a health food store or go to a healthy market where you can get things that are raw. Because if they're raw, they don't put these BHAs and BHTs in them, okay? Let me tell you what happened. Why is it bad? They help keep food from becoming rancid, which means keeping it from spoiling, or because we don't know how long they've been on the shelf, which is good in theory, but the chemicals have been proven to cause cancers in rats. So if it causes cancers in rats, it may be a high probability it can cause cancer in a human being. All right. Listen to this, people. They put arsenic in certain things, okay? Arsenic is a known poison and it's been banned in other countries, but it's still legal here in the United States. Let me tell you how they use arsenic. Okay. Y'all ready for this one? Let me tell you how they use arsenic. This blew me away. They used it and it's found in poultry. For those of you that are out there, I just want to continue. I don't want to become a complete vegan. I still eat chicken and turkey and fish. Okay, so what type of chicken, turkey, and fish? I told you don't do this farm salmon. So let's talk about poultry right here for a moment. The arsenic in chicken feed promotes growth and boosts pigmentation, which in turn make the chicken flesh look much more pink. So it's all for cosmetic reasons why they use arsenic, right, in chicken. And it probably appear healthier, but it isn't anything but arsenic is classified as a human I know how to say this word, carcinogen. Yeah. Cause cancer. How about that? By the Environmental Protection Agency. So to eat it at your own risk. So carcinogen. See, I told you I could say it. So arsenic. So they put it in chicken to make it look good, but it's really a carcinogen. But guess what? Listen to this. Listen to this. What they do, the reason why it is legal at the point of giving to the chicken is okay. There's no studies, and they haven't done any studies, and they probably will never do any studies to say what happens to a human being after they eat the chicken. But as long as the chicken is alive and it's not harming the chicken, they deem it and consider it safe. That's what the antibiotics they put in the chicken. That is also what the hormones they put in the chicken. As long as the chicken is living and thriving and in good health and conditions while they're injecting it in chicken, it's deemed safe. But there is no studies that are human studies after ingesting these type of meats that have been treated with these chemicals, what could possibly happen to a human. And it probably never will be any. So eat at your own risk. Potassium bromate. Where can it be found? In wraps, rolls, flatbreads, bagel chips, and breadcrumbs. Okay, I love me a wrap. I'm just gonna be real with you guys, but it's been a while since I had a wrap or any thing like that. It's made with the same harmful chemical as in brominated vegetable oil. Brominated flour helps with decreasing baking time and costs. So it's all again about money. It's all again about making things happen quite fast food. I mean, everything now, we want it fast, we want it now. So, but it's, remember, I always say everything to our convenience may not be to our benefit. So it says here, decreasing baking time and cost, but is the convenience worth the risk of kidney damage, cancer, and nervous system damage? So these are the 9 things that are banned in other countries, that can affect us and our health, um, and definitely our brain health, affecting our nervous system, which is our brain. And definitely, if you're eating these things and it's affecting your nervous system, it's definitely can cause what I call brain fog and cognition and memory. So, and then we wonder why in the United States we have the highest numbers for Alzheimer's disease and dementia. All righty, let me go to the next thing. Let's talk about here. I talked about the 9 things that are banned in other countries but are here. Let's talk about again here about your mood, your brain, your food, your mood. So talk about some things. Again, I talked about a couple of things already about things that can contribute to depression. Talked about refined sugars. We talked about what they were and how they can provide. Um, I just talked about this, a pleasant rush of energy for 20 minutes, but however, it can cause what we call a sugar drop or what we call hypoglycemic episode. Artificial sweeteners, I talked about that. And artificial sweeteners is from NutraSweet Equal. All those things that Splenda, they say, appears to be safe for now. But just think about this for a minute. We're putting things in our body, and our body is like, hey, I don't know what to do with that. Never seen that before. What am I supposed to do with that? And that's a lot of things that we're using, that are genetically modified, that are man-made, and your body, you created by God to eat natural, healthy things. So, okay, that's the light in the back way. It's probably my granddaughter playing with the light switch in the kitchen. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about putting things in our body, and our body is like, I've never seen that before. What am I supposed to do with it? So what it does most often time, it creates an adipose tissue or fat to store it in because it doesn't know what to do with it. It doesn't know how to detox the body or get rid of it or anything like that. So your body creates fat to take it away out of the system because the body doesn't know what to do with it. So Tanisha, if you're hearing me under the sound of my voice, please get Zoe. She's playing with the light and it's going off and on. Okay, let's talk about processed food. Processed food, consuming refined processed carbohydrates such as white bread, cereal, pasta, snack food is going to cause the same impact on your blood sugar levels. We talked about that now. Let's talk about hydrogenated oils. This is very one of the things that I like to talk about, but we don't get a chance to talk about very much. Stay away from, I've said this before, fried chicken, fried cheese sticks, fried calamari, French fries, anything that is cooking hydrogenated oil. So what's the difference between hydrogenated oils and unhydrogenated or polysaturated or unsaturated? There are hydrogen bonds in oils that connect with one another that makes it solid at room temperature. For those of you under the sound of my voice, and I'm probably going to be aging myself right here because you remember when your mother or your grandmother had that can of oil on the stove and it was Crisco, and Crisco was solid at room temperature, and then they would fry the chicken or whatever and they will pour it in this jar or pour it in a can, and as soon as it cooled off, it's solidified. So think about this for a minute. If it's solidified in room temperature, right, and causes that be solid. When you eat it, what do you think it happens to your blood vessels as your body breaks it down and all that other kind of stuff? It actually solidifies in the blood vessels, and that's how a person can get clogged arteries in the heart, clogged arteries in the brain, clogged arteries in the legs, because we have had, so I've never in my 20 years have seen so much peripheral vascular disease, which means peripherally in the hands and the legs, vascular disease, narrowing of vessels, in my life due to the epidemic of fast food and eating fried foods, things that are quick. Like I said, things to our convenience may not be to our benefit. And if you have poor circulation, a person has a high probability of amputation, have a high probability of pain, which is called polyneuropathy, along with peripheral vascular disease. You see it on television when they're talking about these different drugs and all that other kind of stuff. But the drug is just putting a band-aid on the situation. It's all about what we put in here and the food choices that we make, okay? So that's about hydrogenated oils. And how does that contribute to depression? Listen to this. So think about this. Fats potentially contribute to depression. Because think about it. If a person is in pain all the time, I deal with a lot of people that have chronic pain. Most of those people that have chronic pain are depressed. And then if blood flow is not getting to the legs or getting to the brain where it needs to be, you're not releasing those endorphins, those feel-good hormones to elevate the mood, so a person will not be depressed. So if they're eating these hydrogenated oils, decreasing the blood flow, decreasing the vasculature, the blood flow throughout the body, of course, they're not going to get those good feel hormones released. Most people that are in chronic pain or have poor circulation or whatever, they're not as mobile as a person that exercise or a person who's conscientious about moving about and around. Because one of the things that I highly encourage individuals that deal with bouts of depression, you have to have some type of mobility. You have to have some type of exercise regimen. I'm not saying that you're going to be bouncing around like the commercials that you see at the gym, those real skinny people and all that stuff, just jumping around and all. You may not be there, but walking, even in between watching television, get up, walk around or something. You gotta be mobile, get that blood circulating, get that heart pumping, get those endorphins going, so we can get those chemicals, those moods up, so you can have good cognition. Because a person that's depressed have poor memory, have cloudy thoughts, and so all of that goes together. So eating hydrogenated oils affects the brain, definitely affects your mood. Foods high in sodium, which is another word for salt. Fat-free foods may be good for the waistline, but sometimes they're not good for your emotion. So a lot of them have a whole lot of other things in there, even though they'll be talking about low-calorie, fat-free. But how much sodium or how much salt is in there? It can just a lot of salt can disrupt your neurological system, contributing to depression. Because you got to remember, you're like a battery, and all the chemistries that's in your body helps with the electrical system in your body. So if you have too much sodium, you could be firing neurons too much or not enough. So if they're not firing the way that they should be, right, it can contribute to depression, okay? One of the things I talked about earlier was alcohol and caffeine. So alcohol is a central nervous system depressant. So when you have a drink, it actually, mellows you out. So and I've talked about this before. If you're a person under the sound of my voice and you have a problem with alcohol, I'm not talking to you. You should not drink anything but water. Nothing that has any alcohol content in it whatsoever. If you have a problem with that, oh, fine. Wine has resveratrol in it, which is very, very good, which is the skin of the grape has chemical properties in it that is good for blood circulation, blood pressure, and again for cognition, okay? I'm not talking about hard liquor. Hard liquor, I talked about that before, made also from potatoes or grapes, which is can cause central nervous system depressing, or what they call a depressant. Has a history of mood disorder perceived from extreme caution. Your central nervous system is responsible for taking in information through the senses, controlling function. So that's why they say don't drink and drive, because it affects your reaction and it affects your cognition. So don't drink and drive, which I find very ironic, which I had not got a chance to talk about. I wanted to talk about it, but I forgot to talk about it. And I'm going to repeat this stat to you guys one more time, because we're talking about your brain, your food, your mood. A liquor store, when you go in there, what do you see? You see liquor, potato chips, pop, candy, all this processed food, pop, all that other kind of stuff. $54 billion industry a year. $54 billion people are purchasing at liquor stores, including liquor. $54 billion going towards bad health. Now I know you've seen people say stuff like, there's liquor stores on every corner in the hood or in the city. You have 40 ounces, you have, all that stuff in the hood. Let me tell you something. In the suburbs, the liquor store is in the gas station. You can go to a gas station and they got liquor from the ceiling, all from the floor to the ceiling. And liquor is also, and wine is also sold in the grocery store. So it may not be an actual storefront liquor store, but liquor stores are in the suburbs. So don't you believe, which I find ironic. You're gonna say don't drink and drive, but you got the liquor store at the gas station. Somebody help me out on that one. Help me out on that one. Okay, don't drink and drive, but you have a liquor stores in the gas station. But anyway, so again, alcohol slows down. It controls your emotion. Listen to this. Ooh, this is deep right here. Um, your central nervous system is responsible for taking in information through your senses, right? Controlling your motor function, so your reaction time is delayed, as well as thinking and understanding and reasoning. It is also controls your emotions. So that's why on the holiday, Pookie, Ray Ray, and them, when they get drunk or whatever, you have this one that always cry, and then you have one that always want to fight. So it affects all of that. So alcohol slows all this down, exacerbating symptoms associated with depression. And so a lot of people that, if you know that you have a problem with alcohol or liquor, just stay away from it. Not only that, if you know you have first degree relatives, or relatives, or if there's a long family history of alcoholism in the family, just stay away from it. I mean, don't open that door in the spiritual realm for that. We call it, as doctors, your genetic deep predisposition for it, and all of that, and in the Christian world and Christendom, the spiritual side of it, we call it generational line, generational curse, and whatever, same thing. So if you know, and because if you ingest this and it affects your brain in a certain kind of way, and it's not positive, and it's hard liquor and all that other, just stay away from it. But also, the Bible also says wine is good for what? Medicine for the tummy. Okay, and it says be not drunk with wine. So I do have to address that to have a balance here. So, but we all grown and we all know what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. Okay, and I already talked about caffeine. According to some expert, even the modest amount of caffeine can contribute to depression and anxiety. Caffeine disrupts sleep, making it more difficult to fall asleep and stay asleep. Those disturbances affect your mood. So, of course, if you're not getting sleep, remember I talked about this. I have a whole video about the proper way to sleep. And I also found out during my research and study, with Alzheimer's disease, the amyloid, which is when brain cells or what they call amyloid protein deposits are there in the brain. What happens when you're sleeping, that stuff is cleared out. So if you're not getting the 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night like you should, you're not getting that clearing of those proteins that can deposit in the brain that cause Alzheimer's disease or cause some type of dementia. So sleep is very, very important. People say, "Well, all I need is 4 hours of sleep." Yeah, you only 4 hours of sleep, and you're on your way to dementia or Alzheimer's disease if you don't get the proper right amount of sleep, because sleep is made for a purpose and a reason. I've always said that even to my patients, and I'm saying it to you for those of you under the sound of my voice for Medical Monday. Your sleep process is when the body replenishes and it is healing itself. So if you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, the right amount of sleep, even at the certain temperature, I talked about that. So check that video out. It's very, very important. Your sleep is very, very important. So we're talking about your brain, your food, and your mood. Very, very, very key there. Okay, now let's talk about here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I talked about all the bad stuff. So let's talk about the good stuff. Wait a minute. Remember I said earlier today, I thought I was doing something good and kind of come out to find out that it wasn't. So, one of the key factors of your brain, and the reason why fast food and not eating the right things cause problems with cognition, with your brain health and stuff, it increases inflammation. And I tell my patients that I deal with that have chronic pain, I challenge them on this, and some of them have done it, and some of them have not. I tell them to do a pain journal. So I told them for 7 days, eat whatever you want: fried food, fast food, junk food, whatever you want to eat for a week. And I want you to write what you ate and how was your pain afterwards. And then 7 days following that, I want you to eat clean, eat very good, and eat very healthy. I even had this two ladies I know of. I had them to do a honey bun challenge because they love honey buns. So I told them to eat a honey bun, as much honey buns they want for a week. And of course, they came back and told me how horrible they felt and how much better they felt after they ate the right things. Okay, so you could challenge yourself on that yourself if you want to see if Dr. Grace really knows what she's talking about. Okay, so what happens when you eat all the wrong things? Increase inflammation in the body. So inflammation affects your brain, your heart, everything. So one of the things that they said in my studies, because I told you guys that I'm studying now, I'm getting my board certification in anti-aging and alternative medicine. Foods that promote inflammation. I talked about refined sugars, refined grains and white flour products, processed foods. So that's anything in a bag, can, fast food, trans fats, saturated fats. Those are the things that I talked about that have oils that are solid at room temperature. Aspartame and MSG. I forgot to talk about that. You know, MSG is banned in certain countries, but what is this monosodium glutamate, which they put in food, believe it or not, affects your brain, your cognition, but it also is somewhat addicting, which keep people wanting fast food. It's called nightshade vegetables. So those are your potatoes, tomatoes, and eggplant. Ah! Here I am eating eggplant, thinking, oh, I'm doing the vegan thing. I love eggplant. I went to, oh my goodness, tomato smothered eggplant. Okay, I'm doing tomato smothered eggplant. Okay, they just said potato and tomato and eggplant. Go figure. And then, but anyway, they said that these three things: potatoes, tomatoes, and eggplant. My mother loves tomatoes, so I'm gonna have to tell her this. Oh my goodness, this is gonna hurt her feelings. But it contains what they call solanine. Solanine is a chemical alkaloid linked to symptoms of inflammation. So I'm gonna have to leave the eggplant alone. I didn't notice any pain or anything in my body because I do work out. So you know, when you work out, you may be a little sore, but maybe I should do a test and see. No, I'm not gonna even test it. Whew. But anyway, that really hurt my feelings about the eggplant. Here I am thinking that I'm doing right, but I'm contributing to inflammation. But anyway, gluten, of course, and casein, which is found in dairy products. All of those interact with contribute to inflammation. Now, listen to this too. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. Gluten and casein in dairy products. They said that casein and dairy can cross react with gluten. So most oftentimes, just think about it. Most oftentimes, gluten like breads, hate to say it, macaroni and cheese, they have gluten and milk together. So both of those together is a double whammy for inflammation. Yeah, I know. I like macaroni and cheese too. hmm But I love my health and being pain free a lot better because you got to remember as we get younger and younger, our joints can become affected by inflammation. So we got to make sure that we do what we need to do. Okay, so let's talk about things that are good things that you need to eat. Brazil nuts. Now, this is a challenge for me, guys, because I had since a child I had diagnosis of food allergies, and nuts is one of them. I'm kind of like kind of a little bit strange here. I can do peanuts, but I can't do Brazil nuts. I can't do walnuts. I can't do cashews. I can't do anything that has a flower or a bud on it. I can't do honey. I can't do fish, but I could do shrimp. I could do shellfish. But recently I've had shellfish and it kind of made me kind of itchy, so I'm kind of staying away from that. And due to the fact that I'm trying to be a vegan right now, I'm trying to stay away from it anyway. So Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are one of the best sources of mineral psyllium. And studies have shown that people who are low have increased rates of depression, irritability, anxiety, and tiredness. So Brazil nuts are great for that. How much do you need? It takes all it takes about 3 Brazil nuts to get your RDA of psyllium. I don't believe in the recommend daily. I don't believe in RDA. I mean that is so archaic. I mean, so you probably need 3, 4 times more than that. To be honest with you, monitoring. Listen, have a mid-morning snack with a banana, which has psyllium, and I've seen things posted places and all that other kind of stuff. Foods that you should never eat, like a banana. I guess it's because the sugar content or whatever, but it is natural, so I don't understand that. But that's just me. Or a sprinkle chopped with Brazil nuts in salads or a stir fry. Oily fish. They highly recommend oily fish to keep for your brain health. And I remember learning about this in medical school, and I was like, Lord, I can't eat fish, so what am I going to do? So as I grew in my knowledge and learning, there's other oils that you can do, like flaxseed is one of them. You can actually do the seed or the oil. People who are deficient in omega-3 fatty acids may have more susceptible to depression, low mood, according to research. So about 60% of dry weight of our brain is fat. Listen to that. The dry weight of your brain, 60% of it is fat. And about 30% of that is from omega-3. So that's quite significant. So it's very, very important that you get your omega-3 in to keep your cognition up, keep your mood up for your brain, your food, your mood, right? Your brain, your food, your mood. Keep your brain healthy, improves your mood. Keeping your brain cells flexible so that brain massaging chemicals such as neurotransmitters can work more effectively. And I've talked about that at our practice. We actually can test your neurotransmitters. And we're going to actually have this machine where we can actually test your brain function to see how well your brain is operating at the age that you are now, and tell you what you need to supplement and what foods you need to incorporate in your diet to improve and to maintain your brain health. Talking to people now as they're getting younger and younger, one of the things that people are most fearful of is losing their cognition or becoming demented or losing their cognitive ability as they get older. So we have tools at Bethesda Holistic Center to curtail that and prevent that from I shouldn't say to prevent that by allowing your body to do what it needs to do naturally how God created it for it to work. How much do you need? So they talk about a serving size is 140 grams a week. That's just a blanket statement. I really do believe that it needs to be based upon the findings and the deficiencies that you may or may not have. It has to be based upon what you're trying to do, as far as if you're a person may be overweight or obese and trying to reduce or release the weight. And I think it needs dosing needs to be based upon where you are on the deficiency side and what your body mass index is and how much you weigh. Oats, they say, is a mood booster because it has low glycemic index. So you want to make sure you do oats. Bananas, I just talked about that. Bananas contain amino acid tryptophan, which is also found in turkey, as well as vitamin A, B6, and C, potassium, and its fiber and phosphorus, iron, carbohydrate. Mood boosting carbohydrates aid in absorption of tryptophan in the brain. Your brain needs tryptophan. So all of you guys know, after Thanksgiving meal of turkey, most people go to sleep because what the body is absorbing that tryptophan, which causes the mood to mellow out, right? So it helps a mood lifting hormone serotonin, which helps with depression, because they found out that people that are most often depressed have low levels of serotonin. And I talked about that before in one of my videos about serotonin in your gut. So if you're having problems with eliminating constipation, most oftentimes, yes, that person is also has problems with depression. Okay, so you definitely need to make sure that you eliminate on a regular basis. You should be going to the bathroom doing number two every day, not every other day. You know, we're taught in medical school and in our medical profession, everybody's bowel habit and mapping is different. No, we are created and designed to eliminate every day, and we should. So, most oftentimes, if you're not eliminating every day, you are having problems with toxins. You're having problems with your brain function. You're having problems with your mood. You're having problems with releasing weight. All of that goes together. So, it is very, very important that you understand your brain, because the same neurons that is up here is also in the gut. So, how we are talking about the brain and how well we need to take care of that, we're also talking about the same thing for the gut, because the same neurons that are in the brain are also in the gut. Okay. Lentils. Lentils are a complex carbohydrate. Yes, it helps increase the brain's production of feel good hormone or neurotransmitter at the level of the brain and the gut. This results in a calmer, happier state of mind. Yes. So lentils is very, very important. So that's why that we highly recommend a Mediterranean diet or a Mediterranean food choices, because it includes lentils, it includes garlic, it includes dark green leafy vegetables, good oils, all the things that we need. We talked about everything that we need for the brain to be happy will also make you happy. Okay, so your brain, your food, your mood is very, very important. Okay, you can have lentil homemade soup. Now we're talking about chicken and turkey. We talk about chicken and turkey as long as, if you're someone under the sound of my voice that don't want to be vegan but want to do chicken and turkey, please make sure it's antibiotic and hormone free and steroid free. Okay, you don't need to be ingesting anything that has that in it, because it's defeating the purpose. So if you're eating something that has antibiotics in it, you're taking antibiotics and it's stripping your gut. Okay, if you're eating something that has hormones in it, and you have hormones, the hormones that you're eating is making your hormones off balance, right? So, and then if it has steroids in it, steroids, okay, you're eating, goes along with the hormone family and things of that nature, and it can affect the neurotransmitters throughout the body. So if your neurotransmitters are being off kilter, then a person is going to have mood problems. So if you're going to eat chicken and turkey, make sure it's antibiotic, hormone free, and steroid free. Okay, because you want your serotonin levels and your neurotransmitter levels to be homeostatic.
hormone melatonin, which helps you sleep and regulates your sleep. You want all of that to be balanced. So tyrosine is also used to make hormone adrenaline. So if your adrenaline levels are really low, then your mood is low. Adrenaline is your epinephrine, norepinephrine for flight or fright. I know I'm losing a lot of medical terms here because, again, for those of you that are not medical, there are people that are medical that do listen to my videos, so I try to keep it balanced. So your adrenaline and your hormones, which is norepinephrine, is your flight or fright hormones. That means that if you're in a situation where you're about to fight or run, you need those um, hormones to be up so you can do that. People that have high stress jobs or things of the nature, those hormones are up all the time, but it should not be up all the time, okay? So you need to understand and know that it's very, very important to allow it to be like that. Spinach. Spinach is very, very important. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. I'm running out of time. Okay, so I'm gonna read you the spinach, water, and cereal. I'm not too much all into the cereal thing because the whole grain gluten thing. Got to be careful with that. I'm an advocate of dark chocolate. And they talk about eating oysters. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more because next week I need you guys to tune in. Please tune in next week. And the reason why I say that because I got my test results back and I want to tell you guys what I'm deficient in and what I have to do to get myself together. Because I can't tell you to do something that I'm not doing. So I try to do this once a year. So I got my test results back. So I need you to tune in to next week on Medical Monday. We're finishing up with your brain, your food, and your mood. And we're going to talk about Dr. Grace's life and what she needs to do to get herself together. And I'm going to share with you what I need to do and how I'm going to do it. And we're going to do it next week on the Medical Monday show. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully, this will help you to know that you need to eat to live and not live to eat, and that your food should needs to be your medicine. One of the things that I like about this, the testing, it not only tells me what I'm deficient in, it tells me what I'm borderline in, but it also tells me how I need to supplement myself down to the milligram dosage and what foods I need to incorporate in my food choices in order for me to not only to supplement but to maintain for maintenance. So tune in next week for Medical Monday. For those of you, again, thank you for tuning in. Again, we're looking for doctors to join our practice, physician assistant, nurse practitioners, certified medical assistants. We need you. We're growing by leaps and bounds. So go to info, info, I as in ice cream, N as in Nancy, F as in Frank, O as in orange, info at B as in boy, W as in Wendy, dash center.com. Put your resume there, or you can mail in your resume at to 21411 Civic Center Drive. That's 21411 Civic Center Drive. That's 21411 Civic Center Drive, Suite 102, Southfield, Michigan 48076. We're looking, like I said, we deal with seniors, but also we do a lot of alternative concierge medicine. If you're someone under the sound of my voice as a provider that is looking to incorporate a holistic approach to your patients, we're the practice for you. We're looking to partner with you, to work with you to make this world a better place. So I'm Dr. Grace Patterson, affectionately known as Dr. Grace, managing owner of Bethesda Holistic Center and Everything New. Thank you for tuning in to Medical Monday. We will see you again next week, Monday at 8 p.m. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Grace and peace. God bless. Bye for now.